This is Sports Drive.
Welcome back into Sports Drive. Once again, I'm your host, Preston Moore. Mentioned we'd be talking about some great things going on in the area in the Panhandle sports scene. We're going to do a little bit of that, talking about off the court, off the field stuff that our schools around the area do. One of those schools being the West Plains Wolves. Joining me now is Athletic Booster Club President Ross Macon of West Plains. Ross, how are you doing today?
Hey, doing good, Preston. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk a little bit about West Plains and what you guys are doing tonight in particular. It's something that I actually talked to Coach Cummings on the show last year about this exact thing. Your Adopt a Wolf program. It's something that's very interesting to me. Not all schools do something like this. Can you tell me and tell our viewers a little bit about what the Adopt a Wolf program is and how it's been at West Plains over the course of this first year and a half or so?
Yeah, for sure. First, thank you for having us on to talk about this. This is kind of a program that we started a year and a half ago, of course, when we first opened the school. A little bit about how we got started. I feel like that's kind of important to talk about. When the school was first open and we established the Booster Club board, we sat down with Eric Gomez, of course, who's our principal, also sat down with Coach Cummings, and we just, kind of collaborated on what we could do to just bring the community together. One of the things that Mr. Gomez talks about is paint the town blue. And so it's just a way to involve our community, try to get them to come together. And so as, we were kind of talking about that, our booster board got together and just talked about how we can tie in our kids, our student athletes with our elementary kids or our intermediate kids, junior high programs. And so, we established a mission statement through the Booster Club, basically to kind of foster an environment to inspire our student athletes, our coaches, our parents, and also the community to work together to, create a positive environment or a positive atmosphere for all of our athletic programs. And kind of coming up with a community outreach program within the Booster Club. And so that's where that Adopt a Wolf came in. And last year, it was kind of a test, a trial, if you will, on a program. And when we threw it out to the community, kind of gave the reasons or, what the program was going to look like. We had 160 kids, elementary, intermediate, junior high kids that signed up. And so, we thought that was a big success. Our goal for that was just to get them together to an athlete and have that athlete just to get to know them really more not only for the student athlete to kind of mentor them. That's been our goal from the beginning, but also for that elementary kid to be able to have a tie to a student athlete, to come watch them at a game. I may talk a little bit more on that here in just a minute, but that was our goal in the beginning. And we're just trying to improve on that, to, build that relationship with those kids. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, and I think that things like this are important to highlight because it's important that you have your younger kids within the system getting more involved at West Plains and getting more interested in the athletics at West Plains, which could eventually pay dividends on the field whenever they are in high school. And you've also got high school students learning to mentor and learning to lead a little bit in a way that they can. Your son is on the West Plains team, starting quarterback Reed Macon. We know his name pretty well. He had a great season this year as well as last year, so 2 great years in a row for him. As a starting quarterback of the Wolves, is he involved in this program? And if so, how has it looked for him and what's it meant to him?
He's definitely involved. Just for him last year, being in the position that he's in, of course that does bring a little bit of spotlight more to him. At the same time, it can bring a little pressure too. Just from that leadership standpoint. I feel like just the type of kid that he is and how we try to raise him too, but is to be that mentor, to be a good leader. Part of that too is just, to find time or spend time with them. I mean, to me, for him, what we kind of talk about is we want to take time to to see these young kids, and that we know that for all of our programs, for all of our varsity sports, these younger kids are going to look up to our varsity athletes and really all of our athletes, and so we feel like it's important not only to for them to spend the time with them, get to know them a little bit. Last year we had several. I think Reed may have had 4 or 5 kids that that he was their big wolf, which we thought was a big honor, to have those kids. Last year again we were just trying to figure out how that was going to work. We made some adjustments this year to where we incorporated some other teams also, not just for the football team. We've done a fall sports, which we've incorporated the football, volleyball, cheerleaders, basically our fall sports that come with that. We had 155 kids sign up for our fall sports. And so, by including, the other sports, we felt like that's just a way to bring the community together. And that, again, that's, more of our goal for this program is to bring the kids together, bring the parents together, bring the community together. One of the cool things I think too is on game days, our student athletes will go out to the feeder schools, and we get to greet them as they come in. Lots of pictures are taken. It's just a fun environment for not only Reed, but also these other varsity players to be able to get to spend some time with these kids. So,
Have you seen a level of growth amongst, I guess, on both ends of that, on the younger children as well as the athletes? Have you seen a level of growth with those kids?
Absolutely. I think from our older, our big wolves, as we call them, it's a responsibility that they take on to, be a mentor to these kids. And again, that's kind of what we're, that's the idea of the program is, it could be just a quick letter or a quick high five, if you will, that would brighten that kid's day. I'm going to give an example from, for Reed, because I see that each day, but he had a little wolf this year. She was a young lady from one of our feeder schools that has been a huge impact on him. She's come to every game. She's his biggest fan. She waits after the game to wave at him. He knows that she's going to be there. She's traveled. Their family's traveled for our playoff games. And that's been a huge impact for him, knowing that she cares that much to, number one, go see him play, but number two, stick around after the game. And when he gets to go see them at the feeder schools, it brightens her day. Not only from that standpoint, but at least from his of that leadership of taking the time to be there to support them. And we that's our goal. We want them to build that relationship. We want them to build that into a mentor. We do meet and greet. The little wolves meet up with the big wolves. After tonight. This is our winter sports time to do this, but we'll schedule a meet and greet for them to come to. And just the leadership part of it, and the bind of the community, I think, is such a big role for our kids. So.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Well, Ross, once again, I want to thank you for coming on the show and talking about this. Great stuff that you guys are doing out at West Plains. Really appreciate you coming on to talk about it.
Preston, thanks for having me. Take care.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with more Sports Drive right after this break.